If you know me very well, I'm one person that likes saying things the way they are. I would rather not say a lie than I would rather keep quiet than say a lie. Okay. Now, a lot of you know very well that I was here minding my business, and when the South Africa versus Nigerian online matter started, I came here and gave my 2 cents, right? And immediately, some South Africans came on my comment section and began to drag Nigerians and began to say lies about what is not happening in Nigeria. And I didn't see anybody coming to say, oh, you people should not say that about Nigeria. Of course, you know that as a true Nigerian that I am, I would definitely give my 2 cents. And my 2 cents became more than 2 cents. And a lot of people who were aggrieved came under my comments. Like 2 days ago, I was seriously under attack by South Africans. And then I went to do my own investigation, because you cannot always talk rubbish about my country, Nigeria, and you expect me to sit down and watch you do that. No, I will go out and do my own digging, because let me tell you something. Most of you don't understand how Nigerian works. We Nigerians say our own news in public, but you guys do not. Your people don't tell you about the news. You do not. And that is why the last video I posted yesterday, I mentioned it when some South Africans were saying, oh, we have islands here and we never got to know. Because you people don't know. They make you such that you don't know what's going on in your country. And we are helping you now to let you know what's going on in your country. And I'm ready to help you. You know I'm a very kind sister. I'm ready to help you, tell you everything that's going on. And then let us read yesterday's comment so that you see what a South African said. Such a sensible man. I never knew that they still have people like that. I'm sure that one is not he didn't grow up there. Maybe he's living outside the country. And he was able to say things. He argued constructively. He said words. See, let me tell you something about argument. Come with your own argument. Come with your counter argument. Don't just come to drop that. Hey, what about the 15 Nigerians that did this? What about the 16? And I keep asking you people, what about the 6 South Africans that were pied 2 days ago in Durban? What have you said about them? You never mentioned them. And then somebody come into my comment section to say, that the guy should not say that this is a family matter. Oh, really? You know, Nigerians will bring out our own issues in the public, but you people hide your own, conceal it, and call it a family matter, and then come out to tell us that in South Africa, you people are feeding well. In South Africa, there's no poor man. In South Africa, there's no, nobody who is malnourished. And yet, I saw that comment yesterday when I was reading it out. A man has said that they don't have jobs in South Africa. The indigenes do not have jobs. And he also mentioned that they are out-of-school children. He mentioned that there are children that don't have parents, which are the orphans, no food for them and all of that. So who are we supposed to believe? If the South Africans are, the thing is, South Africans go to white men comment section to say all of this, maybe thinking the white men will come to their aid, as because they are used to seeing white men as more superior than them. I'd mentioned a couple of times, I said, okay, South Africans, come together. Since we all know that most of our issues is leadership based, I said, let's tackle the leaders. Is that not what I've always said? Let's tackle the leaders and ensure that we hold them accountable. Most of you said no. As far as is a Nigerian who is talking about this or giving you this heads up or giving you this advice, you are ready to fight. But let me tell you something. It's not about fighting. It's about we getting the solution to our fight. Do you understand? It's about time we began to hold our leaders accountable. We should tell them, this thing you have done is wrong, this thing you have not done is right. A lot of you talked about the fuel queues in Abuja. I had mentioned a couple of times here that there are fuel queues in Abuja. Even when the protest was to take off, I mentioned also that there's going to be a protest in Nigeria, and I advise that if you have not gone to buy things, go out there and buy things. And a lot of people came at me to say I'm causing panic. At the end of the day, that was exactly what happened, what I said. I am one person that reports things the way they are. Nigeria is blessed. I will continue to project the positive things of Nigeria, and I'll pay less attention to the negative, because the negative is inconsequential as far as the government is concerned. Everything that is happening negatively in our country is based on government policies, not as Nigerians. I want you guys to also remember that you have to disassociate, you have to separate government policies from the actual Nigerians, because as individuals, as Nigerians, we are very kind people, hospitable, very, very industrious, hardworking people. We do not see the people. If you talk about crime rate in Nigeria, you can actually point at a few persons who are doing crime, which will say, okay, this one, not even crime like the whole guns. This one will say, okay, this person is they told this person, give me money, I'll pay you so day, and the person did not meet up. Such kind of crimes. But to say that we are suffering the kind of crimes to suffer in South Africa, that's a big lie, because in South Africa, a lot of people are robbed, a lot of people are they go through a lot of stress, and then if Durban, where they have the beaches where foreigners come to stay with their families for holiday, is being under attack, is South Africa really safe? You should be able to fix your tourism attraction centers to be safe, because that is where, if any foreigner a foreigner comes into your country and is being attacked, you know what that means. It could cause rifts between both countries. You should sort that out and make that your bone of contention, not always coming to my comment section and telling me not to talk about South Africa. Why won't I talk about South Africa when on different occasions you talk about us unprovoked? You came at us on social media unprovoked, and then you want to now tell us how we should end the fight. No, you are not going to tell us when to end the fight. We will choose when to stop. When you look for people's trouble, you come at them. You don't expect them to fold their arms and watch you. This is a whole country full of over 200 million people, and then you just 50 million. You think you can, and you are still poor. If Nigerian were just 50 million, I tell you for free, we will have too much money in our hands. We'll have too much. Our resources will outdo us. Yes, because we, even with the large population, we still have enough resources on ground. It's only for our government to be able to help us harness those resources and put it in the right channel for it to boom, and then you will see how Nigeria will go. Outside that, Nigerians, you cannot sit down to say all the crime happening in Nigeria is in your country is caused by Nigerians, when all the times the raid is done, all the time criminals are being caught, none is mentioned to be Nigerian. Don't you think that is something you should sit down and have an inner conversation about? I'm so happy that a lot of South Africans who know the truth are coming out to say that I'm saying things that they should look into. I'm saying things that are happening that the local media is not saying. Don't you think that's something that you should sit down and think about, or thank me for doing that, for being a very kind person to you? In Nigeria, when you call me, I saw a video where a South African did a video 2 years ago. Nobody will say it's a new video. Go to his channel. It's 2 years ago. He mentioned that he had traveled to Nigeria, that the culture shocks he had is that when he got to Nigerian airport, the weather was harsh. What did he come to Nigeria to do? He came to Nigeria to have a ministers meeting, like church meeting and a conference, and he stayed. He had a swell time. He said before he got to Nigeria, they had already booked his hotel, and people came to the airport to pick him up, and he had a very good reception. That is who Nigerians are, especially when you are a man of God, or when you are somebody that works for God. They give you, they treat you special, too special. That's how Nigerians are. So if you want to come for Nigerians, come correct, bring your facts. We'll be here to tell you whether it's right or wrong. Then you mentioned about Boko Haram. Oh my God, Boko Haram, is that an issue? We all know, every sensible person knows that Boko Haram is politically motivated, and that is why you see that whenever there's no election or election period, like when government want to change, you never hear about them. They only come out when they know that there's somebody they want to support is coming in, so they begin to cause problem for the next person, and you see that you cause problem for the person who is the incumbent person, and they'll find out that is either they want him to return or not. They will not know how to channel their fight so that it will look like you have not tackled insecurity. Unless you are not listening to Nigerian news, you will know that most of these things, it's either the government in power knows what's going on, or the government that is about to come in knows what is going on. Boko Haram, faceless people, a faceless group that till now have not told us what their problem is. If every group who is fighting has an agenda, what is their own agenda? Their own is to disrupt. Where are the Boko Haram people from? Some of you think they are from the north. Yes, it could be that they come into the north, indoctrinate a lot of people and use them to do the fighting. But who are these people spearheading this group? You should find out this information, because it's going to help you. They are foreigners who coming from Lake Chad, coming from Niger Republic, coming from our neighboring countries. Most of those people came together to form this group and then began to bring in the people from the north to join. It is not like the northerners on their own sat up one day and decided to obstruct, good governance in Nigeria. No, they didn't do that. There were a lot of people who came out from outside Nigeria and stood their ground that they would destabilize Nigeria economy. And to the glory of God, Nigeria economy has not been destabilized if you look at it critically, because everything still boils down to government policies. You talked about fuel, dry. No, fuel can never dry in Nigeria. The only challenge that we are having, and we have said it, we don't hide our own, is that in Nigeria, the fuel is high, the price is high. Being an oil-producing country, we sell fuel to other countries other countries in Africa. We are not supposed to be having this kind of fuel prices, right? And then everything still boils down to more refineries opening up, which I mentioned that Dangote had just opened a refinery. I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that Nigeria is the best country in the world, and Nigeria is the best country in the universe, and Nigeria is the sweetest and the most amazing country where you find the most peaceful, accommodating people who give you free food. In Nigeria, where you do not have food, you go to your neighbor and knock and tell them you don't have food. They say, oh, my sister, come in and eat. Oh, my brother, come in and eat. So welcome to Nigeria. Please enjoy and feel at home.